Hello everybody, this is Kira's show here. Now then, let us begin. Wherever we last left off, Deku, he had just taken the, test that Aizawa had given everyone in Class 1A. Mineta being expelled. Now, Deku is walking home, as he's trying to figure out a good way to help Toru. Ideas are passing through his head, and the Ghost Rider is also throwing out some of his own. One idea being to make a deal with Mephisto for the answer, which Deku, someone just asked him if he was crazy. To which the writer just responded very much so, yes. Now then, Deku, he is just throwing out ideas left and right, as he gets his focus broken by one thing. He looks up to see that there's a bunch of people crowding around outside of his apartment. So someone found out where he lives. That's not good. So someone found out where he lives. Now then, Deku, he would just be annoyed, as he would walk over trying to hide his face. As it was working for a minute, but whenever he did get somewhere around halfway through the crowd, people began to notice him, and somewhat pile up on him. A lot of people shouting at him and chanting at him, while some are actually berating and cheering him. Deku, he would have gotten through as he would start heading up the staircase, many people following him. Now, after that happened, Deku would have got annoyed as he would have turned around and people would have seen the fire in his eyes, as he just shouts to leave me alone. Many people being scared. As Deku, he would have just made his way to the staircase even faster and gotten into his apartment. Luckily, no one saw what door he went into, so he should be fine. Now then, let's say a couple hours pass, as Deku, he just is working on the frame, the bike frame he has sitting in the living room. He's just thinking exactly what he needs to do, because he's just thinking about ideas that he needs to do, because, or different ways that he can help Toru. He comes up with one that seems a bit tricky, as him and the writer have been throwing the idea back and forth. If she can cover her entire body with that power, then it can work. But seeing as it completely destroyed her arm and mangled her legs whenever she does use it, that's a bit risky and dangerous. So she may actually need to try and calm it down. To which the Ghost Rider would have been well aware of, saying that what he could do is he can try telling her this and try and get her to regulate it. As Deku, he would understand this as he heads to bed. Now then, the next morning, he is heading for UA. As he would arrive, he would meet with Toru and immediately begin talking to her, saying that this is a bit trickier, but if you can cover your entire body in that quirk, then you might be able to properly regulate it. To which sounded a bit confusing to her. Deku would just go on explaining a bit more that if you can cover your entire body in electricity and, dull it down, you may have a better chance of using the quirk without hurting yourself. Now then, Toru would get it, as she would try doing a Deku saying. No. She is, I want to say, charging her arm up at least, and she does try dulling it down, to at least get a focus on this. Whenever she does dull it down, she brings herself down to about 25% of One For All. She does one thing, as she would walk over to the window, actually seeing exactly what Deku means, as she would flick her hand outwards, slightly. As people watch as a massive gust of wind blows in that direction, and she looks down to see that her finger is still there, unbroken, as she would turn somewhat, saying thank you, as she would turn off One For All. Now, Deku, he would just say that that's no problem, but as he just hesitates for a second, the writer would just say that if the kid's gonna tell her something, tell her now. Besides, her whole invisibility problem is gonna be different. You probably can't solve that with training, but like I said, you might need to make another deal with Mephisto. Fuck. Okay. Well, as Deku would just say that he may know someone who can figure out her whole invisibility problem. To which she would just look up at him a bit confused, saying that if she can come up with anyone, she would be very willing to know. To which Deku would just say that he'll try and get into contact with them. Now, that is whenever Deku, he would hear about the heroes versus villains. No. All Might would just say that this is going to be fairly simple. We are going to have two teams fight against each other, and you will be going for the bomb. Now then, you are going to be the heroes, as he would point over to Deku, and then All Might would point over to, well, about the weakest person in class. Now, All Might would have given this explanation, and let us go over their hero costumes. Deku's hero costume is a bit different. People thought it was going to be some over-the-top thing, but his hero costume is basically just a pair of road leathers, as you can call them. Basically a biker jacket and a biker vest, along with some leather pants and some boots. These look old, worn, and torn, and people would be a bit confused, as they would watch Deku turn on his abilities. As the Ghost Rider pops up, they would watch as his clothes turn to looking very pristine, and actually a bit more leathery, as the spikes on the jacket get larger. This actually being very, very intimidating looking, because they see these little metal dots just appear out into long, jagged spikes. Now, All Might would just say that Deku and, well, young Toru are going to be going together. All Might, he still thinks that Toru doesn't have control over her quirk, so she may not use it, so that'll at least provide a good reason to put them on the same team. Now, with that being said, the other team is going to be Bakugo and Todoroki, as we will have this happen. Deku and Toru are actually the villains, and Todoroki and Bakugo are actually the heroes. Now, these two, they would get ready, as they can hear the entire building getting coated in ice. She would just ask Deku if he's got a plan for that, to which he would say yes. as he lets off his heat a little bit more, powering himself up to a good level. Todoroki, he wouldn't hear All Might declare them winners, so he's a bit confused, as he tries to turn the building into more ice. As he walks into the building, he notices that it's extremely hot, and the ice is melting very quickly. Now, with that happening, this is where he would hear something. There's something falling. Now, as soon as that happens, this is where Deku, he would immediately just burst through the top of the ceiling as he's screaming. Bakugo and Todoroki getting separated. Toru, she would have been following Deku, as his idea was just a direct assault. Now then, Bakugo would be trying to throw explosions and whatever he can at Deku, as Deku just keeps powering through it and grappling and tackling Bakugo, trying to throw him around and just punch him in the face, until he gives up, which the stubborn bastard is not going to. Now then, Deku would have been doing this as Toru is fighting against Todoroki. She would power herself up to 25% as Todoroki just keeps trying to throw ice at her, and actually trying to capture her. He's trying to use his ice, but he's finding that it's too hot in the room. He is too close to Midoriya. Now, he would try running in for a direct punch, or well, a good way to take her down, and he would be swiftly met with a fist to the jaw, which he couldn't even see coming. Quite literally. Now, after that happens, this is where Deku, he would have gotten annoyed as Todoroki, he is still trying to get up off the ground and fight with Toru, as Deku would do one signature thing. After throwing Bakugo around enough, he would have grabbed him by the leg and start swinging him around, as he would have ran over to Todoroki and immediately just had a batters up moment, where he beats one motherfucker with another motherfucker. Now, All Might would have somewhat drew the line there, as he would tell Midoriya to stop. Deku just throwing Bakugo into a wall, and Todoroki being very well injured. As that happened, this is where All Might would have to declare Deku and Toru the winners, as he's actually quite a bit impressed. He was too busy paying attention to Toru and seeing her progress that he was kind of ignoring Deku for a minute. So it's a bit on his fault too. Now then, let us cut over to a man. He is sitting on a throne as she is watching these events and the actual fights, finding it a bit interesting. This kid is using the writer's abilities and powers, but he's not going all out. Why is that? Well, I guess that extra spirit is not too easy to control. Well then, I guess I should give him a little bit of a nudge. Which is where Deku, he would feel Zarthos. He's trying to call to him, and he's asking the writer if they should respond to that. To where he would just say he can ignore it, but he'll just get more pissed off. Now, after the match concluded, this is where everyone else would start theirs, as Deku would walk away from the area. He would just start following the smell, as Zarthos, he has a very pungent smell. He smells worse than any demon you can imagine. Now, Zarthos, he's unlike any other demon. His smell, it's extra bad and extra foul. It can be best described as whenever you smell it, your nose hairs, they feel like they're going to fall out, and your tongue feels like it's burning. So, Deku would follow that scent, as he would find Mr. Aizawa in a sleeping bag. Now, He's a bit confused as Zarthos, he would just sit up in Aizawa's body, saying that he's heard a little bit of action happened. So, I viewed it in your match. Really? Well, what did you think? You are doing good, but I do notice one thing. I've been watching you for quite some time. You talk way too much, don't you, kid? Yeah, probably, but what's your point? Well, you're looking for a way to make that girl visible, correct? What if I told you I can make that happen? I'd ask exactly what is the price. Oh, nothing at all, really. Consider that next time I need a favor done, you need to do it. No questions asked. Alright. And so, exactly when will you ask me for this favor? Well, kid, planned on saving it for a rainy day. Whenever I need it. Consider it my way of saying, well, it's a more of a investment. Investment. Your last investment was me, and I don't really appreciate that. Well, you've been doing such a good job lately, I just wanted to give you a bit of a initiative to keep going. I'm calling some bullshit here. What exactly are your plans, Mephisto? As someone will walk in, Bakugo is a bit confused as to why Deku's talking to Aizawa. To which he would just say that Aizawa called him over. Isn't that right, sir? Yes, I did. Now, Bakugo, please leave. This is a private conversation. As Deku's a bit confused. Aizawa's actually... Wait, no, that's still Mephisto. He's pretty good at acting. Now, as that happens, Mephisto's eyes would turn red again. As he would just say that, let's continue. So, in return, I get a favor I need asked. And you get your girl to be visible. Hang on. One more thing to add to this. You don't hurt her, and you don't kill her. Nothing kills her at all. The way I plan on seeing your little contract is she won't die from your hands. She'll die from something else, so you have to agree to those terms. Otherwise, you won't get your little deal. To which Mephisto looks mad. A bit too mad. So he had a plan for me all along. I found his little loophole. Besides, let her have control of it. Put it in her head that she found the switch one day, and she can control it. It's just something she needs. Now, as Mephisto begrudgingly says deal, he would see that he's actually making Aizawa grind his teeth back and forth. So he definitely just pissed him off. But Mephisto got exactly what he wanted. As the writer would begin to laugh, as Deku would shake Aizawa's hand. Now, the writer would just say that he can't believe that he just tricked Mephisto. So, I guess your little reading did do some good, didn't it? It did. But I mainly just learned from the first mistake. And what was that? Don't make the deal with the fucking devil. Now then. That is going to be where I leave this part off, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video and have an amazing day. Excuse me. An amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.